Humans were scared of animals, so they built homes. Fear helped them survive. Humans were scared of their enemies in war, so they built roads and heavy machinery. Fear helped them develop. Humans were scared of not having enough, so they worked extra hard. Fear helps develop the economy. Humans are scared of the fear of missing out, so they upskill and learn. Fear helps keep them agile. Humans are scared of going to jail, so they don't do anything wrong. Fear helps keep society in check. And finally, humans are scared of falling ill, so they exercise and take care of their bodies. Fear helps them get fitter. So if fear can do all these wonderful things to us, help us survive, help us develop, help our finances, help our health, help our mental agility, why is it then that we demonize fear? Why do we look upon fear like it's a bad thing? That's because, in my opinion, we haven't understood fear properly. A thorough understanding of fear can shed some new light and maybe change our perspectives and help us understand how we can make the most of our lives while we use fear to transport us to the next level. Both history and sociology have shown us that fear can be a powerful motivator, a game changer, and a social shaper like no other. However, what I do believe is that fear also needs to come in the right doses. For example, if you have a crippling fear of something, it does exactly that. It cripples you, and that should be avoided. But overall, having a healthy understanding and respect of what to fear and what to face can profoundly impact our lives. Calling fear a negative emotion is unfair. As a child growing up, I had heard, "Jo dar gaya wo mar gaya. He who is scared is dead." However, this pandemic has shown us that jo nahi dara wo mar gaya. Because imagine if each one of us had no fear of the virus, if none of us decided to be at home or wear masks, the situation would have been absolutely impossible to contain. So then, what is fear? Negative or positive? Bad or good? In my opinion, it is neither. It depends on the person and the situation. In fact, there are two kinds of fears. The ones that we want to conquer because they make us happy, and the ones we'd rather avoid. For example, I love meeting new people, even if it means that I have to overcome that one moment of fear or that one moment of social risk as I go about introducing myself to them. However, meeting new people, making new friendships, forging new connections gives me a lot of satisfaction, so that is the one fear I'm willing to put in effort to overcome. On the other hand, I'm scared of cockroaches, like really scared. But I don't want to face that fear. I let that pass because this fear is not a crippling fear. It doesn't have that big a consequence in my life. I avoid cockroaches and that's it. Life is sorted. So that's a fear I'm not willing to face. I'll just let it go. Overcoming my fear of traveling to a new place, learning a new computer skill, or speaking in front of a huge mass of unfamiliar people is something I'll gladly do because that makes me feel accomplished, that makes me feel good. These are my active fears that make me want to do something to change them. However, bungee jumping, fighting a lion, or mountaineering are activities I'll clearly avoid because overcoming these fears is not going to have a great consequence on my feeling of well-being. These are inconsequential fears in my life and therefore they are passive for me. I don't even want to put in the effort to try and overcome them. Hence, the fears we choose to face and the fears we choose to avoid really define us and have long-lasting effects on our lives. In fact, even the loudest proponents of "Jo dar gaya wo mar gaya" will not dare to jump out of a plane without a parachute or fight a lion with their bare hands. This is because not all fears are created equal. Ultimately, the fears we choose to conquer and the fears we choose to let aside depend on our individual risk profiles. You see, there are 5 kinds of different risks that we could take: physical, financial, emotional, social, and mental. When I tried to find out what my risk profile was, I realized that I'm willing to take 100% of mental risks, 50% of social and emotional risks, only around 20% of financial risks, and 5% of physical risks. My very high risk-taking ability with my mental skills and my moderate risk-taking ability with my social and emotional skills makes me a public speaker. Someone who constantly has to learn complicated stuff. Someone who constantly has to write, has to put her ideas and opinions and thoughts out there in front of people. However, my very low willingness to take physical and financial risks doesn't make me a millionaire who's traveling the world in a yacht and willing to jump out in the ocean. Understanding an individual's risk profile, which I read about in Tina Selig's book, What I Wish I Knew When I Was 20, can really help to piece together a jigsaw puzzle which can help to understand a person. The fear or the lack of fear can really motivate or demotivate a person. In fact, fear is such an important component that to conclude, I'd just like to say, a good mountaineer knows no fear, but a great mountaineer knows exactly what to fear as he makes his way to the summit.